All right, I'm going to give a chapter book a try. I saw this one and thought of my granddaughter Arielle because she likes her numbers. And I like pie. So this is Violet and the Pie of Life. I knew my parents could solve most of their problems by applying simple math. The night when everything went wrong started problem free. Great, actually. Once Dad came home, I was in my room, but I heard Dad at the door because our house is only 875 square feet, and my dad is never quiet. "Who wants a bucket full of heaven?" he asked. I hurried to the front of the house, inhaling the delicious smell of fried chicken along the way. Dad stood grinning at the door, holding a large fast food bag. He hugged me with his non-bag holding arm and said, "Vi, the apple of my eye, you hungry?" "Now I am," I said, following him into the kitchen. Dad pulled out the bucket of fried chicken and plopped it onto the counter. "Your mom's not here?" I shook my head. "She's at that listing appointment she was all excited about." Some people have a passion for music, some for doing good. Your mother has a passion for real estate," Dad laughed. "Hey, let's eat sneak one piece of chicken before she gets home." I stared at him. It sounded like fun, but not if Mom found out. She was into family dinners, and with the whole family, not 2/3 of it, and with the whole family, not 2/3 of it. I loved fried chicken, but it wasn't worth hearing another argument. "Come on, Vi," Dad pressed. "It's killing me to resist the smell. If I can't sneak a piece of chicken, I'll keel over and die." And he stuck his tongue out and clutched his chest. I laughed. "The smell is driving me completely crazy," I said. "If I can't sneak a piece of chicken, my brain will explode." "We can't let that happen. You know how your mother feels about messes. For her sake, you'd better eat." "Oh, you know how your mother feels about messes. For her sake, you'd better eat." And Dad opened the bucket and pulled out a thigh and bit into it. "Ah," he said. I took a drumstick and ate a mouthful and said, "Ah," too. "But seriously, don't tell your mother," Dad said. "Don't worry, I won't. And if Mom saw us eating without her, leaning against the kitchen counter, talking with our mouths full and not using our napkins, she might die." "The only thing better than eating fried chicken is eating fried chicken with my favorite girl," Dad said, and I grinned at him. I'd finished about 80% of my drumstick when I heard a car in the driveway. "It's Mom," I whispered. "Toss the chicken bones, wipe your hands," Dad said. We rushed around the kitchen, two laughing fools. "Admit to nothing," Dad said. "Admit to nothing," Dad said in a loud whisper. Mom walked in right as I was throwing paper towels over the evidence in the kitchen trash, and she smiled. "What's so funny?" "Oh, we're just deliriously happy to see you," Dad said. Mom raised her eyebrows. That didn't ring true. Not lately, anyway. Then she pointed to the bucket on the counter, while she put her hand on her hip. "Why didn't you tell me you were picking up dinner? I defrosted turkey cutlets." "You're welcome," Dad said, unwelcomingly. Mom put her other hand on her hip, doubling the unwelcomeness. "Did you go to the market for eggs and broccoli like I asked?" "Does every word out of your mouth have to be a nag?" Dad said, frowning now. "Does every word out of your mouth have to be a complaint?" Mom complained. That's when math would have come into the picture. My parents should have stopped right there and determined how many words from Mom's mouth were actually nags, and how many words out of Dad's mouth were complaints. Mom nagged a lot, but she also talked about real estate and the weather and other boring stuff. And Dad complaints were totally outnumbered by his funny stories. One simple division calculation for each parent would have shown him that they did a lot more than nag or complain. Or my mom could have solved most of their problems simply by reversing her nags to complaint ratio from this. So we got nags to complaints to nags to complaints. And unfortunately, my parents were not interested in my mathematical solutions. Last time I suggested one, Dad has laughed as if I was joking, and Mom has apologized for arguing in front of me. At least my math proposal had distracted them from their fight. I love fried chicken, I said, now trying a distraction technique again. Also, I was still hungry, and I put my nose in the air and said in a snooty voice, "Such excellent cuisine." My parents laughed, and my mom said, "Quite so." It wasn't that funny, but I faked a laugh to keep the household mood up. "Let's eat," Dad said. Mom put the bucket and the sides on the kitchen table, and I got the ketchup from the fridge, and we all sat down. And then Mom tried to ruin things again. She said, "Do 3 people really need a large bucket of fried food?" And before Dad could respond with his usual lines that nothing he did was ever good enough for her, I said, yes, 3 people need a large bucket of fried food when one of those 3 people is me. And to prove it, I grabbed another thigh and drumstick from the bucket and drowned them in ketchup and wolfed them down. "Slow down, Violet," Mom said, frowning. "You'll make yourself sick." Dad winked at me. "It's impossible to slow down with such excellent cuisine." And I winked back at him and poured out more ketchup and grabbed more ketchup, even though I already felt like I might throw up. It was worth it, though, because Dad put his arm around my shoulder and said, "That's why I bought a large bucket." And Mom said with a smile, 12 years old, 90-something pounds, and she eats like a linebacker. Dad laughed and went with it, speaking in a deep, dramatic voice like a sportscaster. "Violet Summers, newest, youngest member of the Chargers, best known for her first tackle and her charming smile." I grinned, and my parents grinned back, and I clutched my stomach under the table. That's the symbol for pie. I felt even more throw-uppity later that night in my bedroom when the fighting started again. I could hear it through my door. The thing about math is that it's logical. You have to solve the first part of the problem before going to the next. Once that's figured out, you keep moving on until you have the whole problem solved. And my parents' fights were the opposite. They started arguing about one thing and moved on to another and then another, and nothing ever got solved. In fact, it seemed like everything was getting worse. I sat at my desk and added my parents' last arguments to my chart to see if I was right. See intensity of fights: January 2, February 2, March 1, April 3, May 3, June 4, July 5, August 2, 4, 6. I stayed there frowning down at the chart while my mom and dad shouted in the background. Finally, I put the chart face down in a drawer, climbed into bed, turned out the light, and put a pillow over my head. And that was chapter 1.